Write quadrilaterals on top. Everything you want to know about quadrilaterals, but we're afraid to ask. It's not really everything about quadrilaterals, but it's a lot about quadrilaterals. And the book gives you A, B, C, D, E, F, and G shapes here. Let's jot those down. A looked like this. B, same thing, just with kind of slanted sides. C, kind of squarish looking. D looked like the same square, except kind of. I guess I'll draw it down here. E looked like this. And F was a goofy looking shape like this. Now, the names of these specific quadrilaterals, I'm sure we probably went through last year. Did I miss one? Oh, G. Oh, G. G looks like this, I guess. I don't know what happened to my G in my mind, but G. Let's try that. You probably know pretty much most of these shapes here. For example, A, in our world, anything that has four right angles, and the opposite sides, well, four right angles. I think that's all we got to have for that. Anything with four right angles will be classified as this. What is letter A? Sage?
Rectangle.
It is a rectangle. Letter B. Letter B is something that has two sets of parallel sides. Two parallel sides. And that bad boy would be, Haynes? It is not a rhombus, but if you're close. It's a parallelogram. Parallelogram. That's letter B. Letter C, any shape that has four right angles and four equal sides. Probably one of the first shapes you learned as a little youngster.
Square.
Yes, Chad. Nailed it. Square. Letter E, something that has only exactly and only one set of parallel sides. What would that be? Only one set of parallel sides. Emma Christ? It is a trapezoid. Letter F has absolutely no parallel sides, no equal sides. Well, no parallel sides, I guess, would work. Remember, these are all four-sided shapes. I wouldn't expect you to know this one too well. It's in the book, so Colin's going to tell me it's a
Trapezium.
Yeah, a trapezium. Trapezium. You've always heard of the trapeziums. At the circus, you see a lot of trapeziums.
Those are trapezes.
Oh, yeah. As opposed to trapezes. Letter D. Letter D is a four-sided shape that has all equal sides. all equal sides. Now notice it's different than a square since it doesn't have right angles in it. But all equal sides, John is a right rhombus. And my letter G is not the best of things here. Letter G, I gotta see what their exact definition, if they give me a definition is. Two pairs of adjacent sides of equal length. In other words, this side equals this side, that side equals that side. Two pairs of adjacent equal sides. And since it's a windy day, this should be the first thing that comes to your mind. Kala, again looking in the book, throws out at me a
Kite.
yeah, it's a kite. Wow, that's a lot of quadrilateral for you. Now notice, ladies and gentlemen, there is overlap in these sort of things. Okay, in other words, since all squares, the definition of a square is 4 equal sides, every square will be a rhombus. Okay, because the only definition for a rhombus is that they all have to equal sides. Now, it doesn't work the other way around. Not all rhombuses are squares, because unless the rhombus has 4 right angles, it can't be a square. You know, some things work one way, but not the reverse or the negative of it. For example, you know, is a square a rectangle? Well, what you have to do is look at the definition of a rectangle. What is a rectangle? It has 4 right angles. Does every square have 4 right angles? Yes, that means every square will be a rectangle. Are all rectangles squares? No. Could a rectangle be a square? Yes, but it doesn't have to be. You'll notice that there's a whole bunch of overlap and play in there. Brandon?
Well, how could a square be a rectangle if it has all equal sides? A rectangle.
No, does it say here that a rectangle doesn't have equal sides? The only thing that makes something a rectangle is it has 4 right angles. So any shape that has or could have 4 right angles could be a rectangle. And since a square has 4 right angles, it would fit under a thing. Now when we call things their shapes, we call them by their more specific shapes, but that doesn't mean they can't do that. Are all rhombuses parallelograms? Absolutely, because the only definition of a parallelogram is that all sides are parallel, or opposite sides, and that's the case there. Are all squares parallelograms? Absolutely, because in a square all sides are parallel. Okay, so there is the overlap in that sort of thing. Yes, Lucas?
So, what is the difference between a kite and a trapezium?
Trapezium has no equal sides, or I should have put it probably on the trapezium, no equal sides either. Okay, a kite has to have 2 sets of adjacent equal sides. So it's your typical kite sort of diamond shape. These 2 sides equal, those 2 sides equal. Put your little thing in there. Just not this thing.